Hi, my name is Garrett and I am the production manager here at Doppl. Obviously, manufacturing is the industry that builds things. So as soon as I saw a tech startup that was going to be building smart sensors in my home province, I was very excited and applied later that day. Manufacturing is absolutely a growing industry in Saskatchewan, not only because of the incentives provided by the government here, but also in our office alone, we have a pretty advanced 3D printer and a CNC machine where we can do prototyping in both plastic and aluminum and wood. Doppl is a vertically integrated end-to-end IoT solutions provider, which basically means we have everything in-house, all the tools, all the expertise to design, engineer, manufacture, install, and provide the software solutions for IoT devices. And what we're targeting is that industrial smart sensor. IoT stands for the Internet of Things. So basically anything that collects information and communicates that information to other devices. For instance, smart lights, smart thermostats, even the smart Bluetooth door locks on your house are all IoT devices. So one of the major areas that we can add a lot of value and solve problems of our customers is through asset tracking. So for instance, some of our customers are in the business of owning and renting out porta potties. So you'd think that a porta potty is pretty simple. You just kind of take it to site and then you know what happens and then you go and get it and bring it back and clean it up. Well, what happens is some of these smaller companies, maybe these mom and pop shops open up, they have 20 to 50 units and that's not so bad, doing kind of a pen and paper tracking of where their assets are. But as the years go on and the business is doing well, and they're adding 25 to 50 new units a year, that procedure of keeping track of where all these units are becomes quite onerous. And you can imagine having to track 500 or 1,000 units with an Excel spreadsheet could become pretty difficult. So that's where we come in. With our sensors being installed in all of their porta potties, we are able to know not only their location, but their fill volume, which we can use that information to create customized customer user interface that can not only tell them exactly where every single one of their assets are located, but also their fill volume. And then using that information, we can create a dispatch report that will allocate other assets such as drivers or vehicles to go and perform maintenance on those required units. Once you grow your asset base to over 1,000 units, can become more than a full-time job. Allowing that dispatcher to free up the majority of their day to actually add value to their company rather than chasing a paper trail of where all these assets are. When I was thinking about what I wanted to do when I grow up, I legitimately said out loud that I want to do something where I can actually hold something and say, this is what we do, and I can be proud of it and be willing to go into a sales meeting and say, this is our product, it's the best, and here's why. That was before I even knew this company existed. So now here I am, literally creating a sensor, a smart sensor that I can hold in my hand that has all these amazing values to the customer and present it as such. So I was working for the last 8 years in the oil and gas industry, and I was feeling a little disconnected with my career path. I wasn't feeling fully valued in that position, and I was really looking for something new and different that instead of spending my time creating policies and standards, I wanted to actually build something with my hands and hold it up and say, this is something that we did, this is awesome, and this is how it adds value to your company. All these things are kind of breaking down those barriers of needing those massive companies in order to support an assembly line. Many of the equipment we need to complete this work, we're finding secondhand from those larger organizations, and unbeknownst to them, it's allowing these smaller companies to come up and stake their claim in the industry. I myself am a production manager. We have an R&D specialist in the organization. And as our company grows, we're going to have expanded opportunities for our early hires to move into entry-level and middle management positions, and even taking on larger positions like production manager if I move up into a different position myself. That's what's really cool about this industry and being in a startup environment is basically however much responsibility you're willing to take on and show a general aptitude towards, doors just continue to open for you. Finding your way into a position, even an upper level position in a manufacturing facility such as this, it can be really unpredictable. For example, our founders, Pranay and Seth, have very unorthodox and very interesting career paths. Pranay was in commerce school at Queen's and got involved in this project at school, and through winning awards and getting some attention from various high-level potential customers, he saw the opportunity to start this business and ended up exiting school before he finished. Whereas Seth's very interesting background, where 2 years ago he was in nursing school at Queen's, and all of his technology knowledge is completely self-taught. He's an expert and has even taught university classes in using 3D printer. They found each other working at a makerspace in Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, and just one crazy thing after another brought them to where they are now, with a functioning manufacturing facility in Saskatoon and other offices in Calgary. The type of people that make for a great fit in this kind of industry, irrespective of your schooling experience. You could be an engineer, a technician, you could be a recent high school graduate. It doesn't matter per se. What you need is a willingness to learn, a strong understanding of physical things, and just a willingness to get in there, work with your hands, figure it out, take on new challenges, grow your responsibility base, and just be excited every day about having that opportunity to create something that wasn't created yesterday. So my day-to-day here as a production manager is incredibly varied, which is something I really appreciate. One day I could be on the computer sourcing new parts or finding the next great new hire. The next day I could be working on the CNC machine, prototyping some new tools, or even making a sign for the front entryway of our building. I could be performing an actual production run from the new, to get our sensors out to customers. As well, we're looking at expanding our manufacturing to including PCB construction and manufacturing. So day to day, I could be doing practically anything. In fact, after this interview, I'm going to be fixing a snowblower. So it's really, could be anything, and that's what I love about it. A big part of this facility is doing prototyping for new products. So we have our R&D team that's constantly doing studies and on the software side of things. As well, we have 3D printer and CNC machine where we can actually build the physical part that this product could turn into. So to be able to hold it in our hands and look at it and say we want to change this about it or we like this about it is very, very useful. So the majority of the work that gets done at our facility is in the assembly room. That's where we take all of the components that we have sourced from different suppliers, and we take the board, the PCB, we install it in the case, we attach the battery, we attach the antennas, we put the lid on, we fill it with our potting material, we let that solidify, and lastly we throw it into our ultrasonic welder to hermetically seal the case together. hope you enjoyed the tour of our Saskatoon-based manufacturing facility. Thanks for stopping by.